Welcome to our New Orleans travel guide.
First stop, New Orleans, Swamp Tour.
Swamp tours are thrilling adventures that allow the exploration of a unique ecosystems, wildlife, and cultural history of wetlands.
This bird is the anhinga, sometimes called water turkey.
Our swamp tour was offered by the Ultimate Swamp Adventures.
Here comes a 10 feet long American alligator.
The top of his head is hard. He's got that little ridge on the top of his head, and then behind that it's soft too. Come on. You missed it, buddy. Come on.
Do you want to pet that alligator dog?
Yeah. I'm good.
Daddy, you want to hug that alligator?
Move up a little bit, y'all's wind wants.
Now, we are at Louis Armstrong Park.
Louis Armstrong Park is a 32-acre park designed by New Orleans architect Robin Riley and was named after New Orleans-born jazz legend Louis Armstrong.
This piece is called Dancing in Congo Square by the Nigerian artist Aduel at NL.
This sculpture depicts 6 members of a traditional New Orleans brass band by the native artist Shalene Jones.
The park was home to the first New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival in 1970.
Gabriel Puru House.
Hotel Saint Pierre.
Street, Cale Del Maine.
Bourbon Street.
This is a gallery because it is supported by posts or columns at the street curb.
The Bourbon Pub and Parade Disco.
Tony Seville's Pirates Alley Cafe.
This is a balcony because of the lacking supporting posts and a roof structure.
This is St. Louis Cathedral.
The next building is the Presbytere.
We are entering the Jackson Square.
The square is named for Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States.
In 1803, Jackson Square was the site where Louisiana was made United States territory pursuant to the Louisiana Purchase.
A lot of people think it's like other parts of the country where you grow them up, they only come out ornamental, you know? But around here, we get some the actual bananas.
Café du Monde, French for Cafe of the World or the People's Cafe, is a renowned open-air coffee shop located in the French Quarter of New Orleans. It is a New Orleans landmark and tourist destination, known for its café au lait and beignet. Its coffee with chicory is widely available in the continental United States.
It is cash only and open 24 hours.
This order is for 3 beignets, a glass of orange juice, and a glass of water.
The Crescent City Connection, formerly known as the Greater New Orleans Bridge.
Execution of Jean-Baptiste Vaudreuil II. Jean-Baptiste Vaudreuil II was born on Dauphin Island to one of the early members of the Louisiana Colony Founding Party.
Old Man River, a man with a past, arms reach empty-handed, God to a city in love, with water.
This sculpture is the Monument to the Immigrant. This beautiful work commemorates the Italian immigrants and their impact on New Orleans, by artist Franco Alessandrini.
Creole Queen, River Cruise.
The Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis, King of France, also called St. Louis Cathedral, is a Catholic cathedral and basilica. It is the seat of the Archdiocese of New Orleans, and it is the oldest cathedral in continuous use in the United States, alongside the Royal Presidio Chapel in Monterey, California.
It is dedicated to St. Louis, also known as King Louis IX of France. The first church on the site was built in 1718. The third, under the Spanish rule, built in 1789, was raised to cathedral rank in 1793.
Cape Knox and Cape Kennedy are two of the United States military sealift commands, roll-on, roll-off ships, and two of the 44 Ready Reserve Force ships in the Sealift Program Office.
The Cape Kennedy and Cape Knox as roll-on roll-off vessels, enabling wheeled cargoes to be driven on and off for loading and discharge much faster than conventional ships, and 10 times faster than those used in World War II. This exceptional flexibility eases the rapid handling of trailers, rolling stock, containers, and extra heavy lift cargoes required in military contingencies.
The Domino Sugar Refinery was opened in 1909 by the American Sugar Refining Company. It produces over 6 million pounds of sugar per day.
Steamboat Natchez is an old-fashioned steamboat offering cruises with buffet dining, including brunch, plus jazz music.
The steamboat Natchez, owned by the New Orleans Steamboat Company, is the last authentic steamboat on the mighty Mississippi River.
New Orleans, commonly known as NOLA or the Big Easy, is a consolidated city-parish located along the Mississippi River. It is the most populous city in Louisiana, in the French Louisiana region. Serving as a major port, New Orleans is considered an economic and commercial hub for the broader Gulf Coast region of the United States.
Home of Jock's Beer.
Vue Orleans Observation Deck.
Audubon Aquarium.
New Orleans Transportation, Canal Ferry.
Chalmette Battlefield and National Cemetery.
Major General Andrew Jackson's troops were outnumbered and less experienced, yet they defended and secured the port of New Orleans from British invasion on January 8, 1815. This surprising victory at Chalmette Plantation was the last major battle in the War of 1812. The American victory preserved U.S. claims to the Louisiana Purchase territory, prompted settlement in the Mississippi River Valley, made Jackson a national hero, and encouraged American pride and unity.
Chalmette Monument. This monument was erected by the state of Louisiana and the United States to commemorate the memorable victory won here by General Andrew Jackson and the men under his command in the Battle of New Orleans, January 8, 1815.
British Place, honoring Sir Winston Churchill, in British Plaza, downtown New Orleans, commemorating the friendship between the U.S. and England. Churchill is depicted with his hand raised in the V sign for the victory he never seemed to doubt.
Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill was a British statesman, military officer, and writer who was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Riverwalk Outlets. It is a shopping mall.
This is the Caesars New Orleans Hotel and Casino.
It is a AAA, 4 Diamond Award-winning, luxurious accommodations. In the heart of the world's most exhilarating city, 2,100 slot machines, 110 table games, and poker room. Sports fans must visit the 5,700 square foot Caesars Sportsbook.
Four Seasons, hotel and private residences.
Now, let us visit the Vue Orleans observation deck.
Vue Orleans offers the city's only indoor-outdoor observation deck with 360-degree views of the Mississippi River, French Quarter, and downtown.
How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the 33rd floor.
All right.
Indoor observation deck. Couple of things just to give you a brief overview of here. We've got 8 of these viewfinders as you make your way around the floor. And there's only one item in this particular one that's even working. It doesn't appear to be working.
So it goes.
Let's see.
You are the helmsman, and I need you to get this container ship over safely around out to this point and on to the port of New Orleans. I'm Lee Jackson, your river pilot, and it's my job to help you get there safely.
Canal Place. It is a shopping mall.
Bright luxury retail complex, offering 3 floors of brand name shops for clothing and accessories.
Such as
Saks Fifth Avenue,
Louis Vuitton,
This is the Sazerac House.
The Sazerac House is one part history and traditions, two parts interactive museum with free admission.
Welcome to the Harmony Circle.
This 60-feet column, with an interior staircase, formerly had, on top of it, the statue of the Confederate General, Robert E. Lee.
Ogden Museum of Southern Art.
The Ogden Museum of Southern Art is a museum dedicated to art by artists from the southern United States. It was established in 1999. The Ogden Museum is located in the Warehouse Arts District of downtown. Museum of Southern Art is recognized for its original exhibitions, public events, and educational programs which examine the development of visual art alongside Southern traditions of music, literature, and culinary heritage to provide a comprehensive story of the South.
Confederate Memorial Hall Museum is a museum which contains historical artifacts related to the Confederate States of America and the American Civil War. It is historically also known as Memorial Hall. It houses the second largest collection of Confederate Civil War items in the world, behind the American Civil War Museum in Richmond, Virginia. The museum has been advertised as Louisiana's Civil War Museum and as Louisiana's oldest museum.
The National World War II Museum, formerly known as the National D-Day Museum, is a military history museum. The museum focuses on the contribution made by the United States to Allied victory in the Second World War. Founded in 2000, it was later designated by the U.S. Congress as America's official National World War II Museum in 2004.
After Anne Frank had to go into hiding with her German Jewish family in Amsterdam in July 1942, her diary became a constant companion. She chronicled 2 years of her life in the secret annex until August 1944, when the Nazis discovered the hiding place and deported the entire family to Auschwitz. Anne Frank died in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp at age 15, just weeks before liberation.
The Atlantic Wall fragments.
The 2 slabs of steel-reinforced concrete constituted 20 feet and 16 tons of German fortified coastline that ran from the Franco-Spanish border in the south to Norway, over 2,400 miles to the North. Atlantic Wall was the term for the vast defensive network of bunkers.
The extraordinary characteristics of the dog, acuteness of senses, docility, affection for human, watchfulness, and speed, enable a dog to be great value for military purpose.
The squadron leader brieves his fighter pilots before the mission, and the young pilots mask nervous anticipation with steely resolve. They muster the quiet courage needed to fly yet another mission in spite of heavy losses. The 5 lighter figures depict spirits of fellow pilots already killed on previous missions. They are gone, but not forgotten.
The sculptor, Frederick Arnold, drew, from his personal experience, flying combat missions in P-38, roving the skies over North Africa, Sicily, and Italy. After 6 months of combat, Arnold was one of a handful of P-38 pilots still alive from his aviation cadet class. Following the war, Arnold vowed to convey the incalculable human cost of war and pay tribute to the more than 88,000 U.S. airmen killed during World War II.
The National World War II Museum is a Smithsonian Institution-affiliated museum as part of the Smithsonian Institution's outreach program. The mission statement of the museum emphasizes the American experience in the Second World War.
Thank you.
2 to a row. Four. Thank
We have faith that future generations will know here, in the middle of the 20th century, there came a time when men of goodwill found a way to unite and produce and fight to destroy the forces of ignorance and intolerance and slavery and war. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in February 12, 1943.
Now, we are cruising in the Garden District.
The Garden District is a neighborhood of the city of New Orleans, a subdistrict of the Central City or Garden District area. The area was originally developed between 1832 and 1900 and is considered one of the best preserved collections of historic mansions in the southern United States. The 19th century origins of the Garden District illustrate wealthy newcomers building opulent structures based upon the prosperity of New Orleans in that era.
This whole area was once a number of plantations, including the Liverday plantation. It was sold off in parcels to mainly wealthy Americans who did not want to live in the French Quarter with the Creoles. The district was laid out by New Orleans architect, planner, and surveyor, Barthélemy Laffin.
Originally, the area was developed with only a couple of houses per block, each surrounded by a large garden, giving the district its name. In the late 19th century, some of these large lots were subdivided, as uptown New Orleans became more urban. This has produced a pattern for much of the neighborhood, of any given block having a couple of early 19th century mansions surrounded by gingerbread decorated late Victorian period houses.
Thus, the Garden District is now known for its architecture more than for its gardens per se.
The Commander's Palace Restaurant.
Commander's Palace, nestled in the middle of the tree-lined Garden District, has been a New Orleans landmark since 1893.
This house was used in the 2008 film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, starring Brad Pitt, Kate Blanchett, Taraji P. Henson, Julia Ormond, Jason Fleming, Elias Koteas, Tilda Swinton.
The movie grossed $335.8 million.
This house belonged to actress and film producer Sandra Annette Bullock.
This is Walter Grinnan Robinson House.
Constructed in 1859 by none other than New Orleans renowned architect Henry Howard.
The mansion architecture is a blend of Greek Revival and Italianate style.
This is Lafayette Cemetery No. 1.
It is a historic cemetery, confined within a single city block. The cemetery contains approximately 1,100 family tombs and 7,000 people.
Films and TV series shot in the cemetery include Hard Target, Interview with the Vampire, Double Jeopardy, Dracula, Deja Vu.
This is New Orleans Ernest and Morial Convention Center.
The Convention Center is named after former mayor of New Orleans, Ernest Nathan Morial.
It has about 1.1 million square feet of exhibit space, covering almost 11 blocks, and over 3 million square feet of total space, making it the 7th largest convention center in the United States. The front of the main building is 1 kilometer long.
The convention center has achieved its first Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Gold certification, a major milestone in its ongoing commitment to sustainability, a building rating system that provides a framework for healthy, highly efficient, green buildings, a globally recognized symbol of sustainability achievement and leadership.
It is also the first convention center in the world to be awarded initial certification under Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, version 4.1, O+M. The latest version of LEED certification, version 4.1, raises the bar on building standards for energy efficiency, water conservation, indoor air quality, and waste reduction.
This building is the Harrah's Hotel.
Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters is a chain with a hipster vibe known for on-trend fashions.
Vans.
Sephora.
Founded in 1718 by French colonists, New Orleans was once the territorial capital of French Louisiana, before becoming part of the United States in the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. New Orleans in 1840 was the third most populous city in the United States, and it was the largest city in the American South, from the antebellum era until after World War II.
This building is the Jackson Brewing Company.
Popularly known as the Jocks Brewery, it sold Jocks beer.
Voodoo Blues.
Now, we are at St. Louis Cemetery No. 1.
Here, most of the graves are above the ground vaults. The cemetery was constructed in the 18th and 19th centuries.
The renowned voodoo priestess, Marie Laveau, is believed to be interred in the Glapion family crypt.
In 2010, actor Nicolas Cage purchased a pyramid-shaped tomb to be his future final resting place.
Last stop in this New Orleans travel guide is Café du Monde in City Park.
City Park is a neighborhood in the Lakeview District area.
For this second round, the order was for the 3 beignets and a chicory café au lait.
Thanks for watching.
Safe travels!